What's going on, y'all? It's J Small Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys today a review that I actually did not plan on bringing you for a few more days till this battle dropped publicly on YouTube, but this is my Verb versus Ill Will review, which I decided to do. There's so much noise. People reviewing it right now, and that's because it is a good battle. I said a big worry of mine was going into another full circle event, that the footage might look like the full circle events of before, that I wasn't the biggest fan of. But I will say Verb versus Will is already by far the best battle they've shot in this setting, and kind of sensible when you speak to the two top talents in the battle. I said no matter what the setting is, it'll at the very least be decent. We're talking about this level of skill, but it actually ended up being better than just decent, right? It ended up being really good. They had a few people in there, which a little bit of noise, a little bit of reaction doesn't take away from that like empty room type of feel, and the crowd isn't like, you know, to the point it's super surrounded. Reactions here and there, but it still stays true to the format. But there's debate going on for this battle, right? Kind of two different styles colliding, and there's a few things to talk about here. So I'm going to do a bar for bar, try to get detailed and give my very critical and real opinion on the winner of this battle, and just talk about how I feel about it overall. But without further ado, let's get right into the first round. So the first round of the battle starts out on Verb, and off rip, something that he's going to do every battle is rap amazing, right? And he came out the gate, talking about you gonna put me in these retirement phases. Boy, you ain't that fire with phrases. I be saying bye to all y'all like I own a slave ship. You know what I'm saying? I can't say exactly how the bar was said, but a slave ship bar to kind of finish off that pocket in the beginning. So off rip, you know, Verb is in pockets, right? Which is pretty much his biggest strength. And another one right here, and listen, this is where it depends on how you judge how fire some shit like this is, right? I'm diabolical. Whole time you were diet bottle coke, a puncher that don't know he about to die off a bunch of quotes. So, you know, the syllable breakdown there is good. I don't know in terms of like, you know, he called him a diet bottle coke. See, that's the little things that Verb does that I think are kind of funny, but it's all reaching into a pocket, so it's good rapping, although the content to me is a little, you know, a little funny off rip when you're breaking down the bars. Get drugged saying my name in vain by straight shooters. He said something about wolves, and he said, we pit bulls, we lock and shoot, we lock and shake as soon as the gate move up. I thought the pit bull joint was fire. This is probably my favorite bar of Verb's first. I faced everybody, the all-timers, forget who you are, that's just my all-timers. I like that. I thought that was fire. The dash in the middle, small minus will divide us. So it's kind of like a scheme about a little, you know, like a hyphen. That was cool. You left smack because you can't play the game on Hall of Fame. People like that bar. I like that bar, to be honest with you. Funny enough, Verb has been anti-smack for how many months now? So if that applies to Will, you would think that would apply to him. But of course not. You know, this is a battle rap. It's about how we flip it. I like the Hall of Fame bar, though. And then he has the kind of section rapped about Will's BM, like talk about he could have had your baby mama could have been my Corinne Steffens. I could rap with a lie detector right now and the needle won't move, so a little like, ooh, little personal shot there. But I like Verb's first, I ain't gonna lie. In the beginning, that diabolical diet bottle coke, retirement phrases, fire with phrases, it's rhyming, not necessarily to the craziest content, but it's good raps. Like, I give it some points. And then from there, the all-timers bar, I like the little hyphen scheme. So it was a pretty good first, right? And then Will goes in the first. He starts off more punch-heavy style, right? So you can kind of definitively mark down the bars, which some will say that works in Will's favor, but I feel like the content backs it up, too. He's got the Baltimore cargo ship bar to start, which is cool, current event bar. I turn my back on Island like Oprah Winfrey. Fire. And then early in Will's first, he probably has his best bar of the round. You go from proverbs to the pastor reading Proverbs. I thought that was hard. The Al Green bar I thought was dope. Police catch me. Even if the police catch me and hand me a long sentence, I still won't tell them where Verb's at. I thought that was dope. Mama told me to be a preacher, and I said I am. I lay hands on them and make them believers. That was crazy. Island in the kitchen, like home decor, I thought was cool. In the hood, raising guns like the Batmobile. The Cynthia Cooper bar I thought was straight. I got a bunch of issues, but this my problematic. That was pretty clever, man. Dude tried to kill me when he got out of jail for like 3 weeks. Tried to turn his life around, but got shot because people trying to heat seek. He couldn't erase his record, but he still got a clean sheet. Will was wilding in this first. I just feel like when you're looking at the content, these bars that I'm saying, there's these higher peaks here just by the quality of the content. Like, not just the rapping, which is a skill in itself, but what is being said. They gonna need help on island, like you're trying to signal a plane. I had dudes on pins and needles, but I was the real Hellraiser. A little bit OBC, I'm gonna be real Hellraiser bar. The game needed fresh air, and I brought the Rebuterol. The Cash App bar was dope. The little Baptist punch was cool. So now he's even just jabbing towards the end. And he said you said you was in the game first, and then he named all the other Jacksons. You know what I'm saying? That was in the game first before Michael, which I thought was kind of clever. Like, you was in the game first, don't mean you got to be the best. The best could come later. They still the best. So I thought Will clearly won the first. I actually like Verb's first for the most part. Like I said, all-timers bar, things like that. But when you look at what I just listed you, there's just so much more. And part of that is because Will did rap a little bit longer. Rapped, I'd say, about minute and some change longer for each of these rounds. We don't know the exact time frame, but we know Verb is very exact to his timing. What I find funny is that someone like a Big K has gotten shit on for all these years for rapping exactly to the time and how it hurts him in battles, but all of a sudden people want to talk about time frames and be very fair and cut off a minute of this round to even it up. Some shit that no one does, even though everyone out raps everyone in battle rap. So whatever. Even though with Verb still having a good first round, though, I thought Will clearly won this first round and was up a clear 1-0 going into the second. Then we get into the second round of the battle. Back on Verb. My beating won't stop because none of my ops give me cardiac. Y'all cardio. I'll be running laps around y'all. So kind of has once again, back into the rhyme pockets like that. Not the most direct, you know what I'm saying, but good rapping. Tell him freeze when it flash, better get photogenic. I thought that was pretty dope. Before I pass the torch, I'll toss it like ho, go get it. So, once again, clowning at him a little bit, not the craziest, but he's rapping at him. Verb, they crying like Verb ain't show up and tell us how to promo with it. I'm a master, don't let bozos in my dojo with it. You a cold pop like the ozone frigid. He's catching heat there once again. Like I said, it's not the most direct, but I thought it was cool. My raps feel like how a Peele film feels, like Jordan Peele. Your raps feel like pew, pew, pew. So I don't know what that is. I'm gonna be real with you, man. I don't know. Verb is, once again, he's rapping pockets, but even, I think, a little less direct and with power in this second. Ain't no pressure. If this bang is volcano gestures. What does that mean? I don't really know what that means. I'm spinning on wheel like how every game show method. So that's pretty much the entirety of Verb's second. I think it is his weakest round of the battle. I think his first is good. I think his second is what I just kind of explained it was. And I think his third is actually really, really good in his best round. But we'll get into that when we get into the third. And then it's on Will in the second. He is the adverb bar to start. I did not really like that. And I'm going to be real. I didn't like the arthritis bar to follow that either. So I didn't really like Will's first two bars in the second. But then he says, the lemon squeeze, but the gun ain't Long Island. Tell my homie Snake Eyes, keep an eye out. So a couple cool jabs there to start. Semi-folded up like Optimus Prime trying to get back in disguise. Thought that was fire. Gloves on. I only wear these when blood come out, like period panties. That was cool. The Grand Marnier bar. Pooh Shiesty put a big ass hole in his face. Thought that was cool. This is where he picks up at the end of the round, in my opinion. Parlay with these rounds. He said parlay with these rounds. I hit 7 legs and missed one. Like I only needed 3 rebounds for all my gamblers, for all my degenerates. We know that was fire. The rebounds joint. Sindel, wig on him and scream at him. I thought that was pretty dope. They want to see ratchets. Everybody watch Zeus now. I thought that was pretty hard. I thought he had a bar here that was kind of clever. I saw some people giving it some pushback. You can get a big ass shell walking toward us. Maybe I'm tripping, because you would think tortoise is like some really basic wordplay. I thought it was pretty clever, because I haven't heard a tortoise bar like that. Maybe someone could point out one before. Y'all know I'd be big on OBC if a bar said a lot. But I thought this was just some simple wordplay that nobody's touched up on yet. I thought the tortoise bar was dope. Double back on vegan like Charlie Clips. That was pretty dope. The knife pick spots on an island like a travel agent. So I ain't gonna lie, it's a step down, I think, from both of them in the first. I think, like I said, Verb's second is definitely a step down from his first. And while I still like Will's second, it's not the explosiveness of Will's first. That's probably the best round of the battle, to be honest with you. But I think especially that back half of his second, from the Pooh Shiesty bar to the Sindel, the Zeus joint, the Tortoise bar, I thought he caught fire at the end while Verb's guns were making volcanic gestures. So I'm gonna be real. People trying to debate in these first two, like I said, I think Verb was pretty solid throughout these first two rounds. But I don't think that there's a debate here. I mean, people are going to point to rap time, but I think if you look at energy, bar quality, and content, the one thing Verb is doing is straight out rapping, like in terms of way you put his syllables together and the flow. But all the other aspects, the performance, the aggression, directness, the punches, I feel like Will is beating him in these categories. Not just watching it live, but when you write it down on paper, he's still outwriting him in those categories. So for me, I had it Will 2-0 going into the third round. And then you get to the third round of the battle, and Verb starts out, funny enough, because it'll be mentioned in Will's round, talking about how he beat Lux and Mook, and he made him look normal. And then he gets into a showtime, an early showtime. And from there, he gets into this riding around in an Easy Civic, whipping E Honda, the color Samoan, so the E Honda bar. I thought that was pretty good. That was cool. Going knife going, I don't know if he said knife, but he said going in and out of the material, like I'm sewing, like in and out of the clothing material. I thought that was fire. You want me to do something, make me, but I'm not talking cloning. I thought that was pretty dope. The poppin' Willie bar, like he caught some momentum off the Showtime. I thought that was dope. You get your power, I get my power from outside, you get your power from these outlets. Kind of talk about how Will, charges up with these leagues while Verb, he got the energy on his own. I touch real cheese and I snap like a mouse trap. So Verb was kind of wild, and I thought this whole first half of his first, just the clever, witty lines, like adding those little witty punches with it, with the back-to-back rhyming, because you still got to be direct while you can rap great, but you still got to be direct with it. I thought this was a good example of Verb tapping into that in the third. If it's smoke, I hired who's trained for that locomotives, not y'all with y'all locomotives. I put the bread on you, roll a loaf up and throw it over. So he's kind of wild, and once again, it's a compact third. It's not that much longer, but I thought he was super efficient with all of his time in this third round. Elite rapping, met the content. I think it's Verb's best round of the battle, and you get into Will's third, and he starts with an angle. Kind of funny enough, Verb started his third talking about Mook and Lux and beating them, and Will's third first half of it is about Mook and Lux and kind of how Verb bases a lot of his career, right? Or at least like his accolades on, I beat Mook and Lux. I was the first one to do that, right? So he says, the king of the Midwest could be Cal, it could be Hitman. I don't know about Verb. He lost to Clips, he lost to Rex. He said he lost to Sean, and he lost to Sean. And said there was no real Midwest movement. It was just Verb, trying to ride the New York wave. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is I think there's a good angle hidden there somewhere. There's kind of good references about, Mook and Lux. What does he say after that? You know what happened after you battled Mook and Lux? They were still Mook and Lux. The end game didn't change. You just became part of the game. So he has this whole angle about, like, you did all this hoot and holler, and I'm gonna beat Mook and Lux. I'm gonna be the new end game. You did it, and ain't nothing changed. You ain't tear nothing down in New York. Like, I didn't necessarily love the way he executed it. I think there's a good angle in there, but it is kind of funny since Verb just mentioned Mook and Lux at the top of his third, right? But then from there, he gets into punching for the most part rest of the round. I'm just trying to have the yak surround him with shots. Oh, that's an island bar. Jesus can't take the wheel. I broke the steering column. That was fire. Stab him. Blade going through it like he heard Whistler died is stupid fire. Oh, my God. John Wick was also Constantine. Keanu Reeves played both roles. I thought that was dope. Baby, if you see the baby on Will, I'm just taking you for a stroll. Looked like a tumor. He caught an ill round in his head. And then a little shot of Easy, which might have been his best bar of the third. Tell Easy I'm in the trenches with a Tommy like Dick Tracy. I thought that was pretty fire, but obviously doesn't apply to Verb. Just a fire bar, maybe setting up a little something, Will and Easy, you know what I'm saying? That could go down later in the year. It'd be kind of crazy. But third to me is the closest round of the battle, and even though Will was punching out at the end there, that second half, sort of like he did in the second, like you hear, I kind of see some of the validity to his angle in the third, especially since it mirrored something Verb said. I think Verb kind of helps it by mentioning Luxembourg, but I didn't think he executed it crazy. I thought it was good talk, and then he just gets to a couple of his punches at the end, and his best punch of the round is not aimed at a Verb. So although I do think the third is pretty close, I still gave Verb the third round of this battle. Like I said, it's similar to the other two in that time length wise. So what's the difference? The directness and efficiency of it. There's not these kind of diabolical. You would diet bottle of Coke and volcanic gestures, like, and it sounds funny because I know people always point out little things that Verb says like that, but it makes a difference when your opponent has got shit that's all applied to you. If it's not name flipping, it's something off of your career, and it's all like trying to attack while you're kind of doing a little bit of syllable wizardry, and not always like you were in the third, getting right at him. You know what I'm saying, and landing, but. Thought he did a great job of that in the third, which is why I had Verb winning the third round of this battle, but I had Ill Will winning overall 2-1. And that is my full review here for the battle. So obviously I did have Ill Will in the first 2 rounds pretty clearly the battle. I'm going to be real. I think you could argue the third and damn near argue a Will Gentleman's. But obviously I still really, really liked Verb's third, and I personally gave him that round of the battle. But I thought this was a good showing on both sides, man. Even though I'm trying to show this difference and why I called the winner, I don't think this was like a bad Verb performance. Now, there are those moments of indirectness like we talked about, yes, but it is a part of his style in a sense. Do I just chop it off? Do I just look over it? No, but I still appreciate this specific thing that this MC is able to give. And it's not easy to rap like that, but I will say, man, Will was very prepared for this battle and kind of continued his performance in this, how he is versus these other legend plates. He showed up crazy for Cal. He showed up crazy for Hitman. If you consider Daylight in there, he showed up pretty crazy for Daylight. And now Verb, you get a very good Will performance in this Verb battle, man. So I think it'll be a pretty good look for both. Like I said, even though I have Verb clearly losing the battle, this isn't like the Mickey Fax battle where he was even more indirect in that sense, and I thought even took it less seriously. You can just tell by the level of material, and that's a performance I'm really just not happy with. That Mickey battle, you can watch my review for it if you haven't seen it. I was very critical in here, but this one, had to show the difference, but I still love Verb's performance, and then on top of that, I think Ill gives you one of the better performances so far of 2024. I thought there was a little bit of that dip in that third, but especially those first 2 rounds was good stuff. And we'll see where both of these gentlemen go from here. I see some people trying to debate. I don't know. I see people, like some people giving Verb the first or the second. I don't know. I feel like he got the third, and then you got people that just try to piece it up to have their guy win. But whether he won or not, I don't think that that's going to do anything to like put down the image of this battle. Like I said, good from both sides. So I want to see what the rest of the full circle footage is looking like. I can only go off of what I heard, but I heard that Young Ill might have beat the Saga. We'll see about that battle. Might review that one when it comes out. Clips didn't battle. He no-showed Jag. Are we surprised? No. And do we necessarily care? I'm not sure. We know where we're at with Clips. We know the dirtiness he's been doing. And if leagues are going to keep letting him steal money, it's not our money. You know what I'm saying? So I can't stop them from getting stolen. But gentlemen, we see what Charlie Clips is doing. And I heard Cali Smooth and Random was okay. That was also on the Full Circle battles. But as I said, review right here. Let me know personally what you think of Ill Will versus a Verb. How do you call it? How do you view the way that I view Verb's rap? Do you think I'm being a little bit too critical? Do you think that pure rapid is enough to get over in a battle like this? Please let me know in the comment section down below. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.